If you're a degenerate and you love that sweet RNG, then this setup is for you. This build centers around two core ideas. First, we want to maximize the switch axe's parry attack and offset, both of which can be used to skillfully trigger two spicy skills in this setup, those being Convert Element and Counter Strike for staggeringly high damage amps. Secondly, the switch axe's attack speed pairs up pretty well with Zoh Shia's unique weapon skill, the Whiteflame Torrent. The skill works like this. Anytime you hit with an attack, there is a 33% chance to trigger Whiteflame Torrent. However, regardless of if you trigger the skill or not, it will go on a 3-second cooldown. When the skill finally comes off of cooldown, you'll get to try again, but this time you'll have a 50% chance to trigger the skill. And as a last ditch pity mechanism, if you fail that last 50-50, your next attack after another cooldown window will guarantee that you trigger the skill. Essentially, the skill will on average activate once every 6 seconds, with 9 seconds being the absolute threshold. That is, if you're attacking moderately. Due to this, weapons that have a medium spread in attack speed synergizes well with the skill. Faster hitting weapons will on average deal higher DPS by increasing the damage of the individual hits instead of waiting for the Whiteflame Torrent procs. And if you use a slow weapon and don't hit all that often or miss your attacks, then you're not going to be able to build pity at a good amount of time. This is probably not a real issue because even the slowest weapon can make use of focus mode to always be landing a hit once every 3 seconds, so that's not really gonna come up, but with that in mind, the skill is quite enticing on something like the Charge Blade and even the Switch Axe, which leads us to this build. To summarize the power of this build, at the theoretical max, this armor set will provide 68 raw attack, 180 element attack, and 45% affinity, alongside the Convert Element and Whiteflame Torrent additional damage proc. You're not gonna believe this, but for the armor pieces, I'm gonna do something super original. We're gonna use 4 pieces of Gore Magala Beta to gain access to Black Eclipse 2, the strongest offensive armor set bonus in the game so far. By pairing Black Eclipse 2 with the Antivirus level 3 skill, we get 25% affinity every time we cure ourselves of Frenzy and 15 additional raw attack damage. More precisely, we're gonna be using the Gore Helm Beta, the Zoh Shia Chest Beta, the Gore Gloves Beta, the Gore Waist Beta, and the Gore Pants Beta. As for the charm, we'll be using level 2 Convert Element. After we slot everything in, these are the following skills that we're gonna get. First up is level 5 Agitator. Whenever a monster is angry, we get 20 attack and 15% affinity. It is extremely strong when it's active, and while it's conditional, if older Monster Hunter games are anything to go by, the more difficult the content is, the more angry the monster will be for a much longer period of time, making Agitator a pretty good skill that scales really well, in theory, with each title update. Next up, we're gonna slot in 1 level of burst to get 8 attack and 60 element every time we land 5 successive hit. 1 level of burst is insanely efficient, so of course we're throwing this in there. The next 2 skills that we're gonna go over are generally good but requires getting hit, unless your weapon type of choice has some sort of parry mechanic like the longsword and the switch axe respectively. Any weapon type with those mechanics can bypass the negatives of the activation requirement. The first of the 2 skills is Counter Strike level 3. Once you get hit and knocked down, you're gonna get 25 attack for 45 seconds. This skill is OP for general play. Just by getting hit or parrying an attack that would knock you down, you're getting a substantial buff to your raw attack for 45 seconds that refreshes whenever you get hit again or parry another attack. To me, it's not a very well designed skill, as it is so generally applicable that you should always run it if you have the opportunity to. And the next skill is Convert Element level 2. Convert Element will only trigger whenever we take elemental damage or parry or block an elemental attack. At level 2, we're gonna gain 120 dragon elements, and after dealing enough raw attack, we're gonna get a blast-like proc of 200 true damage and an additional 80 dragon damage per trigger. I'd love to go to Convert Element 3, but because several monsters cannot trigger Convert Elements for you, and even when you do trigger it, there's a hefty 3-minute cooldown per use, it is not a super consistent skill for general usage, so if you have an encounter that you can make great use of Convert Elements, sure, go for it. Convert Elements should be treated like a nice bonus to our damage, but that's just what it is, a bonus. It is not something to rely on. Additionally, this armor set also comes with level 2 evade window, which gives us more iframes per dodge. Kinda nice, but not super important for switch axes in general. We can offset attack or even parry attacks as we mentioned before. And then we get 3 levels of constitution so we can spam rolls even more. Kinda nice to have as well, it's a quality of life skill, not super important. And lastly, we're gonna have 1 level of Coalescence that we'll get from the Gore Magala set. At level 1, Coalescence provides a 5% buff to our base element attack damage whenever it is active. Unfortunately with this build, because I wanted Convert Elements, I could not fit Evade Extender, but that's okay. We're here for the dank memes of the Whiteflame Torrent and the Convert Elements, double procking together on 1 hit. If RNG is what you live for, I think you're gonna love this build. Anywho, question for you all. Have you tried Zoh Shia's Whiteflame Torrent yet? If so, What weapon type are you rocking and what do you think of the skill? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're down there, support your boy by hitting that like button and subscribe for more Monster Hunter Wilds content. Thanks. Also, if you're looking for people to hunt with, consider joining my community squad ID on screen and in the description below. Before we talk about the weapon decorations, I gotta state another random thing. A lot of these new weapons are so awesome looking. I can't wait for layered weapons. Right now, it's such a shame that we have to deal with RTN weapons being the dominant power. And then also, for all my dual blades homie out there, we don't get radar weapons, which look really cool. When is everybody gonna get radar weapons? Anyways, on to the weapon decorations for the Zoh Shia switch axe. The first is an obvious one. We're going to use the 3-slot decorations on Power Prolonger 3. At level 3, it doubles the time that we can stay in amped mode. If you have a level 3 Power Prolonger deco with level 1 in Handicraft or level 1 Dragon Attack, both of them are decent options, but I would lean more towards the Handicraft as it will let you stay on the offensive for longer. Consistency is more important than damage in most cases. And now that I've said that, since we're using an RNG build, we're going to go with Crit Boost 3 because consistency is for scrubs and we like to do big damage at a random chance. Because reasons. But for real though, Critical Boost 3 may not seem as good because we only have 45% affinity, but even so, Critical Boost 3 is still very strong. It can also be replaced by Attack Boost 3 if that is what you prefer. If you don't care about staying in Amps mode as long as possible, an alternative is to use Attack Boost level 5 and Power Prolonger 1. On a final note, the Zoh Shia weapons seems to do better the longer a fight goes on, making them a great option for tempered and arc-tempered monsters in the future that does not resist dragon damage. I could also see this build being great with Charge Blades and Intake Glaives as well. If you're tired of 4-piece Gore Magala, you could always swap over to a full set of Zoh Shia. Doing so would equate to trading in 15 raw attack for 5 extra affinity and a much more comfortable and consistent health regen. The health regen in particular can help to offset any potential damage you may have received throughout your fight. Another idea is to get rid of the meme of Convert Element 2 and use another charm just so that way you can optimize the build to be even more consistent. But then, where's the fun in that? If you've been playing around with some Zoh Shia builds yourself, share what you've been rocking with the community below. And who knows, maybe it will get showcased in a video in the future. I'm still over here thinking about trying to make Scorcher work, but I really don't think Scorcher is worth it for the Whiteflame Torrent procs unless we get the Arc-Tempered Rathalos and Guardian Rathalos armor. And I'm sure that's exactly what Capcom is planning, so when those two Arc-Tempered monsters finally make their debut, we'll finally get to see the true power of the Zoh Shia weapon skill. Thanks for watching, I hope you had a good time. If you're interested, I think Capcom has been hinting at something else as well. Check out this video to learn more about that. My name is Varsona, and I'll see you in the next video.